So Hullavator, 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 Hullavator. Lots of kayakers out today. These must all be a group of paddlers, so we'll probably see them on the water, and judging by the Capella, they probably know what they're doing. Yeah, she's not in that group.
No. And she was well appointed. She had a good PFD on. She was doing it right.
Well, that's a start. I want to know what that person is paddling, if there's a Nigel Denis on the roof of his car.
What did he take out? If
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so this is the group that was clearly in those boats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how many cars there were.
Hey there.
Hey, gang. All right, kayak police, I'm going to need you to pull over to the side of the lake.
Right!
Okay, I was eyeing the roof racks. How are you, darling? I should have known it was you. What are you paddling? What are you paddling?
Sir?
And
We're all in NDKs except the one wheel.
you are, so was that an NDK that was left on the roof?
Yes. Yes.
I wanted to, so I specifically was like, okay, where are they? I should have realized it was you.
It's hers.
Well, she's got
Yeah.
a vehicle.
Well, no, I mean, it was you. You were in this group.
Yep.
I was like, I want to find them on the water because I want to know who left an NDK behind. If that person is paddling a 10-foot sit on top, I'm gonna blow my brains out.
Well, meet Randy.
Hi, Randy.
She's from Capital City Kayaks,
Nice to meet you.
and she is an NDK dealer.
Nice. Oh, that explains a few things. So if you want to loan us an NDK, I'd paddle one for a year. Now I'll go out and say I bought this boat to kayak the Inside Passage, and I stand by the assessment. This is the best, particularly at its price, touring kayak ever made. So if you want to give me an Explorer to see if I prefer it.
Hopefully, I maybe should have chained that boat to my roof. Yeah, that one's for sale, and it's got somebody that wants to look at it tonight.
What's that going for?
That boat's $3,800.
3,800, and it's used. It was a demo.
Well, it's a demo. I wouldn't say
Used.
necessarily, but
Yeah.
it's been owned by the shop.
And what's the waiting if I order an NDK? What-
Our fall container closes somewhere around September 1st, and delivery should be around January 5th.
Okay.
So
And what's a new one gonna run me?
a new one, that particular boat's going to set you back $56.85. This year I'm running a special. You would have to look at my Facebook page to get the quote, but
Yeah.
for the fall container, the special price is somewhere around $4,900.
Well, it was nice seeing you guys.
Yep.
I'll see you around.
I don't feel like you crossed out it, but I may be wrong.
The important thing now is I have to not think, I have to just do it.
Do it.
Because if I think about it, I'm gonna cross bow. I'm pretty sure I cross bow. Start with the edge. Big sweep, cross bow. Oh! Blew that one. Let's try that again. Moderate rain starting in 20 minutes? All right, I'll just try this one more time. So the trick, what I'm trying to do is just do a 180 before hitting this barrier. And I did it, but not quite as well as I would have liked. And so we're gonna try it again. Let's get that water drop off there. And then the second time, too close to the other side and my stern hit. So we'll start with an edge. Big sweep. There we go. Cross bow. Oh, not enough, not enough. I'll go out to the second one. Sweep, sweep. Draw, hang and draw. Forward. I might be a little rusty. So in that situation, a tight turn.
With a tight turn, would you have been better served to do just the bow rudder instead of the cross bow, because then you're quicker to get back to the other side to give yourself an assistance
Maybe,
paddle?
but I'm gonna say that the better move is whatever I'm more comfortable and effective with.
Right.
Yeah, so it might have, maybe just a regular bow would have been faster, but certainly whatever I'm more comfortable with is going to be the fastest.
Sure.
Yeah. So I at the end of the day, whatever works for you, you know. So if a straight up bow rudder works for you, great. So today I want to talk about the stages of group development, and Johnny is paddling with me, and I'm going to allow him to chime in if he has something to add. But the stages of group development and how it sort of relates to what we're seeing in our current COVID situation. So the stages of group development, and we see these a lot in the outdoors. It's part of what we teach outdoor educators. You tend to not see them on short day courses like I teach for my primary employer, but on the Knowles courses that I used to teach, you see them really dramatically. It's really fascinating. So the first is forming. You get a new group together. A lot of people who don't know each other doing something that they don't know how to do in a new environment. They form a new group. They develop new relationships with the people. And this can go on anywhere from hours to days. Once people get comfortable with that group that they've formed, they start doing what we call norming. Of course, this all rhymes. So you've got forming and then norming. And then this is the new normal. This is what we do. This is how we do it. This is when we get up and make breakfast. And groups generally are performing pretty well at this point. You might see another rhyme coming. And this can go on for days or even weeks in the norming phase. But then after the norming phase happens, you see something else. People start to get tired. People start to get a little irritable. And you see what we call storming. So you go from forming to norming to storming. And storming generally doesn't last that long. It's a pressure relief. Think of like a pot venting steam. That's what's going on. So that generally doesn't last for very long, assuming not too much damage is done in the actual storming that's gone on. But then after storming, you get the group comes back together and is much stronger than it was, and the group really starts performing at a higher level. And so, and then some people say there's a fifth one. That was 4, right? Storming, forming, norming, storming, performing. Some people use the fifth one, which there's probably a rhyme for this, but I don't know it. But essentially it's group death, which is when the group then disperses at the end of the trip that you're doing or the course that you're running or whatever. People get sad and, I miss you so much, and we're going to remain friends forever, and all that stuff. But then they go back to their lives and forget everyone. Yeah. And so that's group death. I think there is a better name for that, but that was what I was taught a million years ago. But yeah. Deforming.
I went through that.
Yeah.
Trip to Havasu Falls through
my primary employer.
Won that trip, by the way. It was awesome. Went through every stage of that you just said.
Yeah.
Stage. It was a week-long trip. Went through every
it's very predictable. You got to storming?
I stormed.
You stormed. On week-long trips, it's hard to get to storming. So you're an overachiever.
I am.
Okay, so how does this relate to where we are with COVID? And so what I realized the other day in catching on the news the people rioting and the people demonstrating for reopening and things like that is that America is in the storming phase. And so we got our our new group together. We formed a new thing, which is, hey, we're all going to stay at home and self-isolate. And then that became our new normal. We've been using the phrase new normal a lot, but really it's just norming. And now we're currently storming. And I don't know how long we're going to storm, and I don't know what performing is going to look like, but I thought that was really interesting when that occurred to me. So
I'm worried that we will not be able to perform.
We may not be able to perform, and storming could go on for a really long time. So let's pause there for just 1 second. While I'm putting my kayak away for a couple weeks, I want to talk about this forming, norming, storming, performing, and adjourning, which are the steps of group development. As an outdoor leader, someone leading a group of people outdoors, or when I was a Knowles instructor, your job as a leader is to massage the way the group is feeling and make sure that it's able to process all of those stages, the forming, the norming, the storming, the performing, to massage them so that the group is working well through all of those phases, even the difficult ones, limiting the damage in particular from the storming phase, and expanding on the skill sets of the people on your outdoor trip during the performing phase. And the other phases as well, but really is helping people to do the best they can through these ever-changing environments and situations, things that are new to them. And so to again further bring that concept to the nation as a whole as we're going through COVID and we're seeing all of these different phases, Johnny said he's worried that we'll get through storming, and the fact is that we don't have anyone massaging the group, i.e. the country. We're operating in a complete or almost complete lack of leadership, or a leadership vacuum. And when you have a leadership vacuum, madness ensues, which is what we're seeing. It's important to understand that if we had a leader at the federal level who would stand up and say what needs to happen and what's going on, and giving people direction and guidance, most of this wouldn't be happening. We're getting a little bit of that at the state level, but of course that varies state to state. And we're getting a little bit of that at the level of mayors and police chiefs and things like that. So yesterday I saw a great video of the sheriff of Atlanta out talking to people and helping them process. That's leadership. That's what leadership is supposed to look like. We should be getting that at the national level, but we're not. So now I'm going to put my boat away, back to your regularly scheduled programming. And then the other thing to keep in mind is that these phases are going to occur because it's such a big group. It's all of the United States. Really, it's all of the world, right? But we're just seeing the United States aspect. Those phases are going to occur at different levels and different times, based on where you are and your exposure to the virus and things like that. And by exposure, I don't mean you got exposed. I mean how many people are in your society and your community are exposed, and how many people are isolating and wearing masks and gloves and things like that. So I think it's interesting. We'll have to do a follow-up on this in a year and sort of see what that looks like. Anything else to add, Johnny?
Well, just we're so politically divided. Everything right now gets politicized. This is why I'm worried that we will not get to the performing.
Yeah.
That we will just constantly storm, because everything goes down party lines on this.
Yeah.
For the most part.
A valid point. I hope you're wrong.
I hope I am too.
But a valid point. Yeah.
It worries me.
More.
I like the far right one.
The far right one?
Yeah.
I like the blue one.
Blue is all right.
That's about $15,000 in boat right there. And parked so beautifully. So Johnny, you can see sort of the inspiration for the seat that I built.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see how the angled bulkhead on the back?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a very minimalist seat,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.